Hi, good evening. Today we are going to learn financial time series analysis, a brief overview. In recent days, as many countries struggle to recover from the recent global financial crisis, one thing is clear that we do not want to suffer another crisis like this in this future. We must study the past in order to prevent future financial crisis. Financial data of the past few years thus become important in empirical study. The primary objective of the revision is to update and data used and reanalyze the examples so that one can better understand the properties of asset returns. At the same time, we also witness many new developments in financial econometrics and financial software packages. Here, prices, commodities or assets procedure, what is called time series. It is depends upon different kinds of financial time series that have been recorded and studied for decades. Nowadays, all transactions on financial markets are recorded, leading to a huge amount of data available either for free or the internet commercially. This is the main reason to making inferences and predictions. So second one is the forecasting model. So here the forecasting models as dynamically is going on, which is attracted attention to researchers community over the last few decades. The main aim of time series modeling is carefully collect and rigorously study the past observations of a time series to develop appropriate model which describes the inherent structure of the series. So here in time series we are applying the methods available is that is the naive method, moving average method, weighted moving average method, exponential smoothing method, trend analysis method, seasonality analysis method, multiplicative decomposition method. Here measure of the forecast errors are depends upon 6 types. One is bias and second one is the MAT and mean absolute deviation and mean absolute percentage error, and fourth one mean square error and standard error, standard deviation of the sampling distribution, and bias, MAT, MAP typically used for the time series. So here to broad way to understand of a time series, here we must observe that and measure the points in different times of specifications like a specific frequency. For example, hourly weather measures daily counts of websites visits or monthly sales on totals, such as the time-based indexing, resampling and rolling windows can help to explore the variations in electricity demand of the renewable energy supply over time. We will be covering the following topics on that: the data set, time series data structure, time-based indexing, visualizing time series data, seasonality, frequencies, resampling, rolling windows and trends. So here I am taking one of the recent burning issue, that is the power systems. Now here main reason is in the working with the daily time series of open power systems data for Germany, which has been rapidly expanding its renewable energy production in recent years. The data sets includes a countrywide totals of electricity consumption, wind power production and solar power production, and wind plus solar power productions. So according to the 2006 to 2017 era of the data I was taken, here electricity production and consumptions are reported as daily totals of gigawatts of hours. The columns are like this. First, according to the date stamping, that is a date, consumption, wind, solar, wind plus solar. So here one example I was given of the time series, but here right now I am not explaining here. You can why, because of the video is going on to very heavy. So once I can explain according to this. So according to the time series analysis, we can once you can see the example. Once you can see according to the data set, we can calculate date, consumption, wind, solar, wind plus solar, year, month, week. So here according to the data, how much consumption is going on, wind is how much is using, solar how much using, wind plus solar how much using, like this type of entire data will be gained with a graphical representation will be available. So here the consumption given by the government, so that is whether it is the 1000 or 12,000, the 1250 or 1500 or the 1750, the daily total gigawatts and daily totals of gigawatts. It is a solar and it is wind and wind plus solar. This type of specifications according to the using consumptions. So it is very useful to get that the informations of dynamically. So it is which places and which user and which location using more and which place and which location is going to very less consumption or can be considered. It is mainly used. It is mainly very useful for states. Why? Because states level between the disperses or struggles can be solved. Why? Because how much they are using, it is dynamically it shows. According to that we can represent we are not using our this much of power supply consumption, and according to that we can give that the clarifications and solve the problems also. And very useful that in a states level in power sector to give that the quality and using of much better of current power supplies also. But some of the transactions trends going on to heavy, then automatically it gives the disturbances. So why? Because noise will be raised. Sometimes we can use more and sometimes we can use less, and sometimes unexpectedly using of more, and sometimes of the consumption appears split into the two clusters. Oscillations centered roughly around at the 14 gigahertz. Why? Because if power supply is not available, depends upon the situations, trends will be changed. And if the process of electricity consumption is significantly higher, weekdays or the weekends, then automatically it can be less to give that pressure, and automatically data can also help to visualize of the seasonality and different scales. But it is not possible like that, then automatically total disturbance will be raised. According to the time series, data often exhibit some slow, gradually variability will raise. If variability is raised, then automatically frequency will be raised, then automatically problem started. So if you can solve this only of the dynamical situation of the trends, then only it is very flexible and very useful. Otherwise it is one of the problem creator, depends upon the time series. Why? Because now the season is going on trend. So if the trend will be complete, then automatically the normal level will be raised. So according to that they follow, then it must be create the problems. So it is must be understand the time series of exhibition of the data, gradually variability and higher frequency. According to that the noise and usages and problems we must understand in different scales. Otherwise we cannot give that it is say sufficient. Okay, thank you.